Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be doing only one video, which is the short-term updates for Bitcoin and for Litecoin. There really are no updates for Ether, and there are really no updates for the long-term trend or the medium-term trends. Long-term trends are mostly neutral, and the medium-term trends are all long. But unfortunately, they haven't gone to higher highs for us to give us newer signals. So I'm going to be talking about our short-term positions and what's been happening recently. And someone asked me about how to manage trades. So I'm going to give them my take on what I do personally. This is not for everybody, but I've been day trading for over 20 years. I trade futures, forex, and recently a lot of cryptos, just because there's so much volatility, even in a short-term horizon. As a percentage, if there's enough volume, you can make a decent amount of money. So let's start with Bitcoin. So I'm going to talk about a couple of trades that I made over the last few days, and then show you the reasons behind where I tend to put my stop losses or when I get out. So for example, on Valentine's Day, we had a signal early in the morning at 89.66. This is a signal, and this one is confirmation once it goes above the top of the candle. So I am using an hourly chart. I use a Hakanashi. The reason for that is because there's so much volatility that happens in Bitcoin. If you just use a regular candle, what happens is that they can go from hollow to solid or whatever system that you're using, and it can be very, very uneasy as you're in a trade, especially for day traders. So with the Hakanashi, it's a little bit easier because of the fact that it doesn't change color and you don't really see the movements. You see the prices, but if you don't focus on that too much and you just focus on the chart itself, you'll have a better time making money. So for me, visually, this works better for me. So let's start with the trade. So we enter here at 89.66. It goes a little bit higher and higher and higher. I really don't know if it's going to break out too much, but it does. And so once it goes beyond the 4-hour ATR, because this is a short-term trend. So once it goes above the 4-hour ATR and for Bitcoin that's 336. So once I get in at 89.66 and it gets past to 9,400, what I want to do is I want to try to ride the wave as long as I can. So in that case, once it gets over here, what I'm doing is I'm moving up my stop loss to a little bit below the bottom of the color change candle. This way, if I do get kicked out, I get kicked out another signal. And then as it goes higher, I do the same thing. I trail it, and I put it just a little bit below. So a little bit below for Bitcoin is a little bit different because it's not a couple of ticks. We're talking maybe $20 to $40 right, on Bitcoin. And so as it goes higher and higher and higher this way, I move it. And then this big candle here, unfortunately, was a really big candle for me. I put my stop loss down there and it hits me, takes me out. A few hours later, I'm waiting for another signal. I get a signal. So here, the signal comes, the signal candle is here, right? So this is the signal, but we're waiting for confirmation, which came over here. So this, you don't really wait for it to go above that one. You're waiting for the first one. So this is the signal candle. This is not a confirmation. This is an inside candle. And then you're waiting for it to hit above that number. So that's 97.88. We enter long. So now that we've entered long, I'm looking for it to exceed the range. So the range exceeded at 336. It's at 9,700. It goes all the way up to 10,000, almost 10,300. So here, once again, I put my stop loss right below the bottom bar. So at this point here, after a few hours, I have a very small profit. As it goes higher and higher and higher, I trail it, and I put it to under this candle here, which is about 10,000. And then on the way down, I get kicked out. Then I wait for my next trade, which came this morning. So this morning, same thing. This is so at this candle here, I thought it might confirm, but it never confirmed. It started going back down. So wait for the next signal. It comes. It's at 98.79. It goes. So unfortunately for me in this trade here, it never went past the 4-hour ATR. Right, the 4-hour ATR would have been somewhere above 10,200, and it never made it to that point. So then I put a trailer at the 1-hour ATR, which is about the 162. So the top of this candle is about 10,170. So 162, I'm trying to give it a little bit of space. So I put my stop loss again at 10,000, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what happens in the next few hours, I get kicked out again at 10,000 with a small profit. Right now it's at 99.53, so the stop loss here, the trailing stop, protected me. But if it bounces back up, you never know. So let's talk about Litecoin. So Litecoin is the same type of system. So here was our recent signal, right? So we get a signal up here. This is our signal. So here we have a color change, but there's no confirmation. Color change, no confirmation. Color change, no confirmation. Color change, no confirmation. Inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, right? And then we finally get color change and confirmation. We go long. It goes on a nice little streak. And it goes all the way up to about 233. And the 4-hour ATR is 16.2. So because it went past, because at 230 is where I'm looking for a trailer, right, for my ATR. So now I'm going to put my stop loss right there at 221. So right now it is at 226. So if it stays above, that'd be great for me. If it comes and gets me, I'll get out with a small profit. So because it went past the 4-hour ATR, right, I can ride the waves a little bit. So if we have color change and confirmation to the downside, then it'll kick me out. But I generally like to follow the waves on the way up, especially after it goes past the 4-hour ATR. So this is a style that's been working for me for a number of years, and it worked across most things that we trade, a lot of different instruments, coming from futures and to Forex as well. So hope you like this channel. Happy Lunar New Year, right, to everybody. It's the year of the dog, and have a great weekend.